there, friends and family. It is Dan. I'm here with the Dan and Adam Are Afraid podcast. It is Sunday, November 24th, 2024. It is a sunny winter day here in Arizona. I'm joined here by my illustrious co-host, Adam.
A shirtless man sits in front of the mic, and he is the co-host of this show you're listening to. Hello, Dan.
Hello, Werner. Adam Herzog.
Adam Herzog. I got nothing for that. Hey.
We're also joined here by returning champion, Various Spaghetti. How you doing, Blake?
Oh, doing all right. How are we doing this morning?
Oh, we're always doing
good.
We're always doing good, usually. I woke up with my girlfriend. It was a good morning, Sunday. I'm gonna get some food later.
It's deep into November. It's the week of
I love
Thanksgiving. It's crazy.
Noir-vember.
Yep.
You watching some noirs?
Maybe
Noir.
somewhere here and there.
It's almost the end of the month, so you don't got much time left.
I might have gotten one in somewhere around the line.
I'm not a big fan of noir. I like Lost Highway as like a neo-noir. That's about it.
Damn. And then I'm over here, and I'm like, I love the Coen brothers. I love,
that's right.
some noir.
Some neo-noir. Because if it's noir, it's got to be like black and white. It's got to be directed by the most racist man alive.
Or I would say even a molester. A Chester the Molester. I'm thinking of Chinatown.
Yeah, I enjoy noir movies. It's just, I don't know, with my themes, like October, I'll make a point to watch like a bunch of horror movies, but other than that, I'm just fighting the pile. That's my mentality. So
This guy's always fighting the pile. This guy buys 800 Blu-rays a month, and he's like, I'm fighting the pile. I'll get through it. And I'm like, I don't think you're going to get through it, dude.
I know.
But more power to you.
I know.
You gotta start watching 2 movies at a time, both of them at like 4 times speed.
2 times speed.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If you want to get through them, you're serious.
Yeah.
I had my MF Doom food record arrive this week. I think it was like Monday it came in. It's a nice ass gatefold, tip-on gatefold, picture disc. I'll tell you right now, folks, picture discs are actually as bad as they say. I'm sad to report. They don't sound as good as regular vinyl.
Yeah.
Do you guys know anything about picture discs?
It's for the aesthetic. That kind of
They're
thing.
cool. Yeah, they look cool. They look like little chocolate discs, but the sound, there's a decent level of surface noise on them. Now, I had read that this would be an issue. Apparently, picture discs, so I didn't know how they worked, but it's just like a piece of paper in between two clear, I think it's like plexi disc sides. And so you're actually just looking at clear vinyl kind of looking thing on sandwiching a photo, which is kind of interesting. They're really well made. I only own like 2 picture discs, Toro Moise, Anything in Return, and now this food record. Blake, have you listened to the record since you got it?
I put it on for 5 seconds. I need to
yeah.
sit down in depth because I got it also. Picture discs, they're interesting. And then there's some other crazy ones. Like I think somebody put out like a Friday the 13th vinyl soundtrack of one of the movies, and there's like blood splatter in the middle of it. Like, but it actually like moves. It's not like just the vinyl colored. So there's a bunch of crazy gimmicks I've seen.
There's the one for Saltburn, which just looks like cum. There's cum in between your vinyl record grooves. There's another one for Longlegs that was shared with me yesterday. That's Maggots.
Oh
There's
yeah,
maggots in it.
It's crazy. I mean, I get it. It's sort of like it's an add-on to the collector's market kind of thing. I guess I'm not as big of an audiophile to really go crazy over the difference. I'd have to update.
I don't care that much. I'm not gonna like replace my record just for being like it's a little noisy.
I'd have to have a crazier speaker system to notice the difference, really. So
Yeah, I'm not. I don't have like. I'm in an apartment. I'm not out here like blasting this shit. Reference quality. Like it's. If I get speakers, it's going to be relatively quiet.
yeah. Yeah, I got some decent enough little. What do they call them? Bookshelf speakers. They work. They do the trick.
Yeah,
So.
I need to get some because I don't want to be. It's a problem. I'm tied down to my headphones right now to any record I listen to.
Yeah.
Anyway, this is about records now. This is Dan's Record Corner. I only care about records now. Everything else is very boring. Thank you, Harmony Korine, for opening my eyes. Now, that said, Harmony Korine, we brought you on the show, Spaghetti, for a reason. This week we watched 1999's Julien Donkey-Boy.
I got a poem. Want to hear it? Yeah. Eternity, chaos. Morning, chaos. Eternity, chaos. Noon, chaos. Eternity, chaos. Evening, chaos. Eternity, chaos. Midnight, chaos.
Julian, cut it out.
Morning, chaos. Eternity, chaos.
By repeating
Noon-
chaos, chaos,
No,
chaos,
no.
you don't even, it doesn't even rhyme. You look so stupid. You look utterly stupid. If I were so stupid, I would slap my own face. Keep still. Don't shift around. Come on, be a man.
Hi, Julian. How are you?
I'm a lot better now.
All those voices you're hearing, those are just friendly voices. No one's out to get you. No one wants to hurt you.
Julien Donkey-Boy is a 1999 American experimental drama film written and directed by Harmony Korine, our boy. The story concentrates on Julien, a man with schizophrenia, played by Scottish actor Ewan Bremner, and his dysfunctional family. The film also stars Chloe Sevigny as Julien's sister, Pearl, and Werner Herzog as his father. Julien Donkey-Boy was the sixth film to be made under the self-imposed rules of the Dogme 95 Manifesto, and the first non-European film to be made under the Dogme 95 Vow of Chastity. Julien Donkey-Boy. Adam, had you ever heard of this movie before?
You know, this movie actually the star of this movie, Ewan Bremner. I love that guy. I've been watching him for years. He's like my favorite character actor. He always plays like these kind of goofy side characters in a lot of movies that I can think of. And no, I had not heard of this movie, but when I saw him in it, like as the lead, I was pretty excited.
Yeah, he's the one with the gold fronts. I need to get some gold fronts, dude. That's what I was thinking this whole movie. I was like, it could change my whole life. Spaghetti. How many times have you seen Julien Donkey-Boy? Is this your first time?
Yeah, crazy enough, this is my first time watching this movie. And it's one that I've heard of before plenty of times. It's sort of a difficult film to sort of get your hands on, even though I guess it's free on YouTube. So I guess that nullifies that point. But in my world of just watching a lot of Blu-rays and DVDs, it's a hard one to find. But yeah, I've always known about it, and I've always known that it's a challenging, crazy movie. I'm glad I could finally connect the dots.
Before we get into the film proper, let's talk about Dogme 95. Dogma, I assume it's Dogma either way, but with an E, that's Danish, is a 1995 avant-garde filmmaking movement founded by the Danish directors Lars von Trier and Thomas Vinterberg, who created the Dogma 95 Manifesto and the Vows of Chastity. These were rules to create films based on the traditional values of story, acting, and theme, and excluding the use of elaborate special effects or technology. It was supposedly created as an attempt to take back power for the directors as artists, as opposed to the studio. They were later joined by fellow Danish directors Christian Levering, Søren Krag Jacobsen, forming the Dogma 95 Collective, or the Dogma Brethren. Do you guys know much about Dogma? Do you guys read anything about this? I know Blake's like fucking raring to go. He's ready. He's ready. Let's let Adam start.
Yeah, let's let Adam start, and let's let Adam finish that. I read a bit about it. Yeah, like it's intriguing. Like the more realist approach to filmmaking, shrugging off the. What did I? Damn it! I wrote it down like just what really succinct. What somebody was. Why is my phone not opening? Okay, I'm sorry. Dogma 95 claims that technological innovation has given rise to a corrupt cinematic climate. And I thought that was an interesting way to put it. We think of like technological advancements as a good thing. And, absolutely there's a view within art where it's like, well, it's going to get you further away from the thing you're trying to create. It's going to alienate your audience more. You kind of think of Scorsese being like, all this cinema, it's just all roller coaster rides. And yeah, interesting to see like a concerted way of trying to get back to, like just a more realistic way of doing, like a more realism focused way of doing things.
And that's the word I'd use is realism. And obviously, really my only reference point for something like this would be Italian neo-realism, which was like an attempt to make very naturalistic movies in a bombed out post-war Italy.
Yeah.
Now, this is even different from that. Now, again, Spaghetti, I think you have more knowledge on this subject, so I want to defer some of this to you if you want to bring some of your knowledge here.
Yeah, so, I do like the parallel with the Italian neo-realism because that movement is definitely a product of the people by the people. And so just a little tangent on that. You see all those movies, the Italian neo-realism movies, and what I love about those films is the naturality of they're just walking through crowds of people, and like everybody's mom and father and sister and brother is in these crowds of people. So it's that element of things. So it's vastly different, but it's the same kind of mentality to secure like the ethos of a raw situation. And I guess where it started was the Dogma 95 was off the shoulders of Lars von Trier's film Breaking the Waves, which is a notorious film by his. I've seen that film once. It's been a while, so I'm a little bit rusty, but I need to rewatch it. But that is definitely a tragic tale if you ever go see that thing. Now, that film isn't directly considered a Dogma 95 film, but it sort of gave birth to the energetic feeling of the movement. And then from there, Vinterberg and von Trier got together and wrote up the series of rules. And it was actually Vinterberg's first film, The Celebration, which is the English translation. It's called Festen. That is considered the first film. I have seen that one, and that's definitely worth your time.
Let's break here. I want to go over these rules because this is the most interesting part to me. Was like because it's like as an artist, I think that's interesting, and that's why I think people are drawn to this. Is as an artist, it's the same reason I have a 404 sampler, and I'm not just making music on my computer. Is because I like limitations and rules, and I feel helps aid creativity, and it just gives you a tool set that you have to work with. Now, the goal of Dogme Collective is to purify filmmaking by refusing expensive and spectacular special effects, post-production modifications, and other technical gimmicks. By the way, I'll mention here, this is a far cry from Harmony Korine of 2023 and 2024, you know. He's doing aggro drift and baby invasion now. Yeah. Very far from this train of thought. The filmmakers concentrate on story and actors' performances. They claim this approach may better engage the audience as they are not alienated or distracted by overproduction, as I think Adam was alluding to earlier. To this end, Von Trier and Vinterberg produced 10 rules to which any Dogme film must conform. These rules, referred to as the vow of chastity, are as follows. Number 1, shooting must be done on location. Props and sets must not be brought in. If a particular prop is necessary for the story, the location must be chosen where this prop is to be found, naturally. Number 2, the sound must never be produced apart from the images or vice versa. Music must not be used unless it occurs where the scene is being shot. I have some thoughts on this movie later.
Yeah.
The camera must be handheld. Any movement or immobility attainable in the hand is permitted. So you can't set it down on like a tripod. The film must be in color. Special lighting is not acceptable. If there is too little light for an exposure, the scene must be cut or a single lamp be attached to the camera. Number 5, optical work and filters are forbidden. 6, the film must not contain superficial action such as murders, weapons, etc. must not occur. Number 7, temporal and geographical alienation are forbidden. That is to say that the film takes place in the here and now. Number 8, genre movies are not acceptable. Fuck the cops! It's Fulci on life support. Number 9, the film format must be Academy 35mm. Number 10, the director must not be credited. Furthermore, I swear, as a director, to refrain from personal taste. I am no longer an artist. I swear to refrain from creating a work, as I regard the instant as more important than the whole. My supreme goal is to force the truth out of my characters and settings. I swear to do so by all means available, and at the cost of any good taste and any aesthetic considerations. Thus I make my vow of chastity. Goddamn. You guys gonna work with those rules?
That's some heavy rules. Lots of brevity.
Yeah, I'm like, so you're just gonna be in a field or a house?
No genre.
Farmer house.
I will never write another genre story ever again. I promise you.
So it's got to be a melodrama, right? Basically.
Yeah, I guess a drama. I mean, the way my brain works is everything is a genre film. But I get what they're saying here is genre movies as in like it can't be a superficial like sci-fi or horror or something like that.
Yeah, like all those SOV movies from Saturn's Core, probably not part of Dogme 95.
Cannibal Camp Out.
So those are some cool ass rules. I like those. Let's talk about this movie we just watched a little bit. Did you guys like the little certificate at the beginning?
It's classy.
Yeah, a little stamp of approval.
Yeah.
I think
so.
I think a certificate at the beginning of any film, I don't even care what it's going to be. It classes that shit up. You know, it really elevates it to some classy shit.
You think Korine has it framed and on his wall somewhere next to his fridge?
I hope so.
He's got it pinned up with a single
cigar
magnet
right next to it.
He's got it pinned up with a single magnet on his fridge.
Well, he's got a cigar taped to a wall he's trying to sell for like $1 million, I think.
Yeah. No, but yeah, I do like. I do like the series of rules to try to be different. I mean, some people can say that it's a art statement that is inflated with in its own self. There's sort of a dual reflexive energy to it, but the attempt is also at the same time very interesting. I think a crucial part of recent film history, for sure.
Yeah, it's strange I haven't heard of this before. I guess before we get into the film proper, The Celebration, isn't that Dogma 95?
Yeah, so that's the first one. They call it, it's also called Festen, I guess is the Danish title. But that was Thomas Vinterberg's film. So Lars von Trier tried to make Breaking the Waves a Dogma 95 film, and it didn't pass through accreditation. I guess some of the issues with it, I'd have to look into it, but there was like little things that broke some rules that didn't go past. He actually tried to make 3 movies and only made 1. And that's Von Trier. He only made The Idiots was the one that made it through the rules. But yeah, Festen, just to go back to that one, or The Celebration, that's definitely an interesting film. It takes place in like a family reunion setting in like a restaurant, or like a banquet venue. So it's sort of easy. I wouldn't say any of these are easy, so that's poor choice of words, but the conventionality of the props there are pretty convenient, because it's like a lot of scenes are like in a banquet hall, or running around the woods or stuff. So, but yeah, Celebration is a very heavy-hitting film. I don't think it's as heavy-hitting as Julien Donkey-Boy, but there's a gut punch in that movie as well, for sure.
1998, black comedy drama about a family gathering to celebrate their patriarch's 60th birthday, during which a family secret is revealed. You know what this sounds like, Adam? This sounds like Melancholia. Another Lars von Trier movie.
Very much so in the
brevity.
tradition of Dogma 95, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that's interesting how like he was part of this movement, and then he also, clearly he still makes films. At some point, he started making films again that was like, way past the idea of realism, I guess. Or is it?
It'd be
It's
interesting.
like guys out here with blowers. It's Sunday. What are they doing?
It'd be interesting if they made Melancholia as a Dogma 95 film. I think they could have, but I mean, obviously the operatic and the score and the slow moving camera stuff, doesn't correlate, but I think that was stylistic choices. And I don't get me wrong, I love that film. I just think that narrative they could have done also in Dogma 95, and it would be equally an interesting film. So,
Julien Donkey-Boy. I don't know who Ewan Bremner is, but I sure know who Chloe Sevigny is. And when I started watching this movie, I was like, she's pregnant?
yeah, that's sort of a polarizing scene, because you don't really notice it right off the bat, because she's like doing ballet moves. And she's got the, what's it called, around her waist, the little tutu. And so it like took me a second, because I just thought it was somebody, twirling in a tutu. And I was like, oh, wait, she's pregnant. And so that's sort of one of the crazy, I guess that's how like Korine is so good at just creating these little off-center poses, I guess, or off-center little topical subjects that you just sort of go, wait a minute, and it sort of frees you in a moment, even though there's a simplicity to it. It's not really crazy, but I don't know, it just, I guess it sets the tone of the film to a degree.
The movie opens with, I actually don't know, who's the little boy? Do you guys know who the little boy was at the beginning?
I think he's just some child actor. I don't know.
I just meant like in the story. I don't know who he is because you have Julien come in and be like, "What'd you get? What'd you got? Turtle? 12 turtles in the pond?
Yeah.
Can you get this for Daddy?"
Yeah, he's just some random poor kid. That's yeah.
Yeah, I think this is where I think I definitely I know like the plot when you see the synopsis, it says like the boy is murdered. Did I just miss that? Because I watched the first 10 minutes of this on my TV without headphones.
I've not read the plot synopsis. That's insane. I did not catch that. Julien, a young man with untreated schizophrenia, meets a young boy playing with several turtles in New York City Park. Fascinated by the turtles, Julien asks if he can have one. When he is denied, he strangles the boy, then buries his body in the mud before praying for mercy from God. Holy fuck.
Yeah. Yeah, so he straight up kills him at the beginning.
I did not catch that. Holy shit.
Yeah. And I think what that does, because it's really only one small part of the film that it's not really elaborated on later on. And I think conventional narratives would have that be a central topic for the film. I think that's part of the challenge of this film is Korine shows this scene, but then the rest of the film actually sort of makes Julien a likable character. So I think it's deliberately challenging for the audience because the rest of the film, they're sort of sitting there like, I sort of feel bad for Julien. I sort of like Julien. He's living in a world of shit, but you know, you sympathize with this plight, but then yet you remember he choked somebody at the beginning of the movie and you're like, I don't know where to stand on all this. I think that's done on purpose that way.
Yeah, this movie is upsetting. I didn't even know that, and that just makes it even more upsetting.
Yeah.
I watched this twice and I didn't catch that. That's crazy. Well, I'll say right now, this movie again is not out on Criterion Blu-ray yet. I think they should put this out.
Yeah.
I don't know what this is shot on. I couldn't tell. I was like, is this a tape? Is this?
Ooh,
I think it was.
Yeah.
It
So
had to be.
Sorry, go ahead.
Sorry. I'm looking it up.
I read mini DV tape.
And then he blew it up to 35.
Yeah. That makes sense because it looks like I was like, I don't even know what a Blu-ray would do with this other than maybe a slightly better bit rate.
Shot in New York on mini DV tape. Then the film was transferred to 16 millimeter, and then it was blown up to 35 millimeter, which
That's
gave
what
it
it
the
looks
grainy,
like.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it looks a mixture of, that's why it was confusing to look at because it's a mixture of tape and film. Yeah, it's like a boarding house.
VHS is actually the preferred medium in which to view this. Like an old VHS though, it needs to be kind of like a little bit of mold on the tape.
Yeah, on a CRT television.
Yeah.
I can agree with that.
On the like a Princess or a Shrek TV.
Yeah. What if you got your kid Shrek? They open it up, they're like, "Oh, I'll put this in." You don't watch your kid, and they're just watching fucking Julien Donkey-Boy.
Sounds like a kid's movie. Oh, Julien Donkey-Boy.
Kind of does. So, why is it called Julien Donkey-Boy?
Well, I think it's sort of along the same lines as Gummo a little bit, where obviously there's Julien, which is a central character, but then like as in Gummo's just called Gummo because it's Gummo. And I think Donkey Boy is just Donkey Boy. It's just added on.
Do you think it because he sounds like a donkey or he has brains of a donkey?
I think probably to some degree he was dubbed that by somebody. So
So that's not everybody. There's a whole family here. We haven't mentioned Chris yet. Chris is his younger brother, whose mother and their mother passed away giving birth to Chris.
yeah.
So Chris is apparently he's anorexic. I didn't really catch that detail either, but he is like a thin little guy. And he's training to be a wrestler. He wants to be great. And Werner Herzog, the father, is trying his best to shape him up to be a champion.
That's an interesting way to put it.
Spraying him with a hose. No son of mine is going to be scared. Yeah, his whole character's fucked up.
Mentioning that scene, did you watch that little clip I sent you, Dan?
No.
So
I didn't even know you sent me a clip.
Oh man. So yeah, that scene of him spraying his son, when Werner's spraying his son, and what does he say? Oh fuck, there's that great wussy pussy. I don't know what he said, but that scene is fucking recreated in an episode of SpongeBob. Like SpongeBob is all dirty, getting hosed down by like a German sounding fish, and like even like some of the dialogue is the same. Just blew this podcast up with that bit of knowledge.
With that moody brooding. This will clean you up. Don't snivel like that. A winner doesn't snivel.
Be a man and quit that moody brooding. Quit that. Don't shiver like that. You're gonna be a winner.
Okay.
Fucking SpongeBob, man. It's out there. It's good.
I was just saying, SpongeBob is for adults too. For people who watch Harmony Korine movies.
Yeah.
Story proper. Julien hangs out with a group of blind people. I was really uncomfortable every time he was with that little blind girl.
For sure. Yeah, I think that's sort of Karine's point too, because I think our typical inclination is like, oh, this is gonna go real bad, real south. But I guess he sort of lives in his own little weird world where there's sort of a natural innocence to it, which obviously that's now sort of jaded now that we know about the turtle kid at the beginning of the movie, but still it's just an uncomfortable, it's just Karine's style of just placing an uncomfortable scene that is inherently innocent in its core, but yeah, the whole time you're just sort of gritting your teeth.
And it's hard to tell. Does she like not have eyes, or her eyes really small? Like I really couldn't make out.
I think like really bad cataracts, because she was talking about how she could only see shadows. Because there's that whole scene in the film where she's talking to Pearl, and she said, you know, if nobody would have really told me that I had bad vision, I would have never known that I had bad vision. And it was sort of like a little interesting innocence in that as well. And so, yeah, I think she has bad cataracts, is what my guess was.
That's right, because she was actually part of the group of people that had their cataracts removed by Mr. Beast.
There you go.
Thank you, Mr. Beast.
And then she was launched off of a 40-foot platform into a foam pit, but missed. And then, no, I'm kidding.
Yeah. Too bad she died. Yeah, that sucks. They should really do some of Mr. Beast. This movie's kind of hard to discuss. I mean, it's really experimental.
Yeah.
It is the most experimental Harmony Korine movie I've watched so far.
Yeah. I think definitely it takes the sensibility of Gummo, which is already a tough endeavor to watch, and I think it pushes that like 2 times further. I think Julien Donkey-Boy is absolutely the tougher film to watch than Gummo even. So
I'm gonna hold on to the guardrails that is Wikipedia for my dear life. Do you guys remember the scene where Werner Herzog's just like talking about like some like Spanish conquistador shit?
Yeah, I actually made a note of that. The aged warrior of conquest, who was with Piazzo in the conquest of Mexico. I found there was an interesting part about that where this was like an aged warrior that he fought until like he was gray in the hair, per Herzog's statement. So this guy is like in his 70s or something, and that's when he finally found his death. But I guess in the moment of his death, he said something like a child's like limerick or something like that. I don't know. I'm probably getting this wrong, but there was like some little poetry or something that he said in the moment. And I actually sort of equated that to how the movie sort of progresses or professes itself in its statement, where there's a lot of chaotic poetry, but it's almost goes back to almost like a childlike mentality.
I'm going to die before I die.
Yeah, and it was just sort of interesting that here's the core of this whole warrior's life, and then the moment of his death, he just turns it into like a simple childish limerick of sorts. I don't know. There's interesting parallels with that in the film.
Yeah, I was just curious if anyone caught anything with that. So again, this thing's not on Blu-ray. It's on DVD. I could not get the subtitles to work with my file, so I watched this without subtitles. I put on headphones about a quarter of the way through the first time, but it's hard without subtitles. Hard to tell what's going on.
Yeah.
Julien spends most of his spare time going to confession, muttering to himself on the streets, and imagining conversations with Adolf Hitler. Would you believe me if on my first pass through this movie I didn't realize that he had schizophrenia?
Do they?
I did not make that connection.
I mean, is it ever said in the film that he has schizophrenia? Because I kind of took it more as like he has, he's mentally unwell, but like I couldn't apply a name to it.
At one point, well, on my second watch there, at one point when Chloe Sevigny has the the fake phone conversation as Julian's mother, she's like, those voices you hear in your head, they're actually good things. So like they're putting very specific symptoms to it.
Gotcha.
So I would think
That's right.
schizophrenia.
Yeah.
And then, I don't know, second time through, I'm like watching him like yell at people on the street, random shit. And I'm like, oh, duh.
Yeah.
And I'll jump in too, just with because you mentioned that, and like the way he talked, like the way that his like when he, I don't know what the word, I don't want to say manic, but the way his words would run in together and the syllables would start like forming new words. Like I've been around people who with mental health issues, and I was just like, damn, this is like it was making me feel like I was back in that spot again. Like hanging out with like a nephew or something, of just being like, oh, you have a whole different set of things going on in your head, don't you?
Yeah. He's definitely in his own world. 100%. And then I wonder if, I guess because at the end of the film, I guess Harmony dedicated the film to his uncle. And I don't want to say that I've researched this and that his uncle has these afflictions, but it almost seemed like Korine knew somebody in his life. I tried to look up that information, but yeah, when he makes the dedication of the movie, so it's almost like Korine is just sort of, I don't know, paying homage to his uncle and a potential world that his uncle might live in, and try to translate that to film, and that's why this film is just so all over the place, and it's tragic, but it's poetic at the same time.
This is a very poetic movie for sure. Pearl spends most of her days searching for baby clothes for her baby that's going to be born soon. We haven't brought this up yet. And in reviews I'm reading, a lot of people are saying that it's implied that Julien is the father, but I feel like it's like spelled out that he's the father. Right?
Well, I'm on the fence. I think, because I know at the end, I know he says that he takes the baby home and cradles it and all that stuff, and he says
not even just that. I'd say like at the beginning of the movie, like our first introduction to Pearl, she's doing her dance, and then you see a really ominous shot of him staring at her from the stairs, and I don't know if it's Chris actually. Now that I'm thinking about it, that might have been Chris.
I do think I do have an alternate take though, and this sort of coincides with Korine's mentality. There's a lot of religious symbolism in the film, and I think because the film has its grasps in reality, but it also has sort of a spiritual formulation to it as well. And I think Korine purposely wrote the baby without a direct father, just that it is. I think it almost could be interpreted as a weird immaculate conception, just with the symbology.
Divine intervention.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think with the symbology, yeah.
And I could see that too. Like I wrote down, like, I don't think it matters if he's the dad. Like he could be, he couldn't be, because it's like, yeah, like it's not part and partial to the story necessarily.
The only other person could be is like the fathers.
Yeah.
Werner Herzog's.
Yeah.
Which he's a fucking character all of himself. He's constantly lambasting Julien over his artsy-fartsy poetry and Pearl over being a dilettante and a slut.
Yeah, Julien may be the donkey boy, but Werner Herzog is the horse's ass in this film.
Yeah.
And
he's literally just robo-tripping. He's like, natural high. Oh, yes, I'd like to go that high.
According to Werner Herzog, he was cast in what was it, Jack Reacher, and like part of their decision was like he says it includes this movie because they liked how like unappealing and kind of evil he was in this.
He was a piece of shit. I've never seen Werner Herzog be a piece of shit.
Yeah, and he's sort of it's really interesting the parallels. He's the sort of the tortured poet, even though he's yelling at everybody else and their poetry, because he's just he goes on these long historical rambles, and I don't know. I loved his character. He's terrible. He's a terrible person, but he's also deeply tragic. He's like a Greek tragedy as a character, I guess is the best way to put him. And he just goes on these long historical bouts of just telling a tale, and I don't know, he's just very interesting to me. I do want to say the correlation with Herzog, I think that with Korine, you know how the translation of how Korine learned from Larry Clark with both kids, but then the translation into Gummo, I think there's a lot of Korine learned from Herzog as well in this film.
Mm-hmm. He worked right with him. I imagine he would have learned a lot.
Oh yeah, definitely. But then also all the scenes with like the blind children. Herzog made a movie in 1971, which is excellent. If everybody should see it. It's called Land of Silence and Darkness. And this is an early Herzog film where but he's a documentary. He makes narrative features and documentary features. But this is one of his documentaries where he went and he just sat with people that were both blind and deaf, sort of like Helen Keller kind of thing. And he just interviewed them and just watched them, like how they translated the world. And I see a lot of that energy in this film, especially when he's hanging out with all the blind people in this film. So that was an interesting translation as well. I think Korine is very much a learning director in each of his features. So I love that about him.
I love the albino guy, the albino rapper.
Oh yeah, that's great.
What was his line? Fuck, I looked at it earlier.
An albino from Alabama.
Yeah, an albino from Alabama. That was pretty tight. As a fellow albino, I feel like I can connect. Partial albino. I wouldn't want to be blind. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
Now, I do want to talk about the scene where Werner Herzog freaks out and like almost breaks the harp that Pearl is jamming on, and then berates Julien. This is a pretty heart-wrenching scene.
Yeah.
I don't have much to say about it than damn, dude. And then really we get to the end of the movie. Before we get to the absolute end, you know, they're at the ice skating rink. You have Julien talking to a small Hasidic Jewish boy. I loved this dialogue between them.
Yeah.
I was like laughing out loud. At one point, he's just like, "How about you go home, go to the bathroom, take a shit, and then eat your shit?"
Yeah,
He's
just
like trying to sell him like a fake ice skates.
it was a sandal with like dual blades like glued onto it.
It's like, they'll work just as well. Trust me.
Yeah, it's just, I guess Korine, he enjoys just having kids spout out cuss words in films, and that's why I sort of saw that as. I think Korine's Jewish as well, so that might have been like his childhood a little bit, like a little influx of himself into this film, telling Julien to go F himself. So like,
I'm googling Harmony Korine in Israel. I love the ice skating rink scene, but obviously, I guess it's intentional. She starts ice skating with the little girl, Pearl does, and she keeps making statements like, "Hey, I can't go that fast." Like, and the whole time I'm just like, "Why is she ice skating? Isn't she like about to give birth?"
yeah.
And this sense of dread just starts setting in, I feel, during that scene. Was
Yeah.
it just me?
No.
'Cause I was like, oh no.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, even like the following of her face, like we had like the camera like right there, kind of below her face with the music. I was like, no. I think I even pulled my headphones off a bit because I was like, oh, this feels bad. I don't want to hear what's coming.
Well, earlier in the movie, we have several times in this movie, we have the scene, maybe it's just at the beginning and kind of at the end, but we have the scene of like the ice skater set to some kind of music.
Yeah.
And I was like, once we got to the ice skating ring and she started skating, I was like, oh no. Oh no. I think there's even an offhand comment somewhere before this where they imply that, I don't know, she's going to fall or lose the baby. And she does. She falls right on her belly, and she screams really loud. I had a hard time watching this scene. I like didn't even look at the screen at that point. I was just like, "Oh my god!"
Yeah.
And they bring her to the hospital. She loses her baby. Julien in a back room with the nurse is like, "That's my baby. Can I hold it? Can I hold it before you?" And he just takes the fuck off with the baby. The dead fetus.
Yeah.
And he cradles it in bed. He also goes on the bus. I thought the bus scene was really cool, where they're just cutting really quickly in between the voice being like, "Next stop here," this kind of thing.
Yeah, because I wonder how many people knew, like, that they were being like filmed, or how many people thought like this might be really happening in real life.
Yeah, it's weird as fuck.
Well, I
cradles the
guess,
baby in bed.
I guess he had hidden cameras for that part too. Like they were like very small cameras, like because they wanted to get like real reactions from people.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. I really don't know. I guess there's a lot of non-actors in this.
Yeah. So I bet you that's just genuine, like, New Yorkers on a bus who just see random shit every day, and they're like, "Oh my god, okay."
Hey, this guy's got a
forgot.
dead baby over here.
Yeah.
Forgot my favorite scene. One of my favorite scenes, the grossest scene in the movie for me, is when they go to the like talent show, like backwoods talent show looking place.
Oh yeah.
And you have the guy swallowing cigarettes, putting cigarettes in his mouth, lighting them, spitting them back out, smoking them, lighting more, sticking them in his mouth. And he swallows them.
Actually,
It's the most disgusting thing.
There's a shot where you see the inside of his mouth, and I did kind of like gag a bit.
Yeah.
I thought that scene was very well, yeah.
You know what that reminded me of? Just going on the parallel of Korine being a learning director. Paralleled with him and David Blaine sort of hanging out.
Oh, fuck, I forgot to watch that.
Yeah. And so it was just sort of like, here's this magician in his movie. And right before this, he made this movie where he followed David Blaine around doing street magic. And I was like, I wonder if that's like a little nod, even though it's polar opposite of like what David Blaine's magic is. I thought it was maybe like a little interesting nod to that.
What'd you guys think about the ending here? As he just lays in bed with the baby?
thought it was very impactful, like upsetting. I definitely wrote down like, what's the point of this message? And I was like, oh, I guess the point is it doesn't get better. It's not going to get better. It was just, I don't know. That's what it left me with. An intense feeling of sadness.
Yeah, it's very ominous. It's very, I can't see the film ending any other way, but it's just, I guess there's multiple interpretations. Like if you sort of coincide, if you have invested interest that that's his physical kid, and then maybe you look at his murdering of the kid at the beginning of the movie with the turtles, maybe it's like you reap what you sow. But then also, but that's only one investment buy-in. I sort of still, once again, go towards the more immaculate conception kind of scenario. So if that, it's just, I don't know, it's just a tragic situation that just coincides with the validity of life. I don't know.
It's tough for me to extrapolate meaning from this movie. I just watched it. But I'd say yesterday I was a little uneasy on it. Today I feel like I like the movie.
Yeah.
It's a hard one to really even discuss because I don't have much to say about it really outside the plot. I'm just like, man, it was good. I do think it was a step down from Gummo.
I think it's more challenging than Gummo. I think historically I like Gummo better. I think they're both excellent films in my mind. Gummo has a better narrative that I can follow. I do like a lot of the daring aspects that happen in this film as well. Yeah, they're just different. I sort of like them the same now. But, yeah, it's hard to put into words. But, yeah,
I definitely will rewatch this one. And I would like Criterion to put it out on Blu-ray so I can get some extras and some subtitles.
This is definitely up their alley. I think they should. They're about due.
Now, before we close up camp today, is there anything in this movie we haven't discussed? Is there any themes we want to talk about? Any notes you took? Anything at all?
Just like to say, a lot of reviews that came out for this at the time use the word retard over and over again. I was kind of like, it's always a blast from the past and shocking to like read a review from the year 2000 and they're like, no, the retards in this movie. I'm probably going to get canceled for saying that over and over again, but I don't know. It's I do think though, and then you've showed me other films where they used, actors with disabilities in it. And it always brings up that question of like, oh, is this unethical to do? And I was curious, did you guys like you said it was a bit uncomfortable when he was with the blind kids? Was it ever a discomfort for either of you to be seeing like disabled people on? Does it feel exploitative? I guess that's the question I have, and maybe that's just a general question for everybody.
I like exploitation, and no, I wasn't worried about the girl in real life.
Yeah, I think that there's the people in this film are coherent enough to have their buy-in to be in the movie. I think that the uncomfortable situation is narrative driven. That sort of unlocks just natural things that we think in our mind, like, oh crap, this part in the movie is going to go south, or is it? But I think the actual, I don't know, the actors, and I think they're fine. I think she probably, that, like, especially that one ice skating girl, I think she sort of loved that she was in the film. Because there's also some moments in the film that, yes, there's that isolated scene with her and Julien, but then there's also the scene where she's talking to Pearl at the skating rink, and she really gives some introspective notes of, like, if nobody told me I didn't see, or I had a problem with my vision, I would have never assumed. Like, there's some good, mentality there. So I think, yeah,
This film also passes the Bechdel test.
Yay.
Yay, lady rights.
This film's
Talk
for the
about lady
ladies.
wrongs.
Coming at you now with a film for the ladies, Julien Donkey-Boy.
Yeah, they should just show Julien Donkey-Boy in school.
I do like
Watch
that.
fucking Jonestown documentary in school. They could show Julien Donkey-Boy.
Yeah. I do like that point Spaghetti brings up, though, that like that feeling of uneasiness. That's definitely like it's more in the audience. It's not coming from the film itself.
Yeah.
It's just because that is a way to trigger, an audience response that, it's not good or bad. It's just kind of is. And yeah, I think that's interesting.
I think Harmony Korine is kind of a troll.
Yeah.
I think he puts things in his movies to deliberately attack at the audience.
He's the king of the trolls.
It's definitely a testing ground. I mean, that's why I said, the very first part of the film where he, kills that kid, and then you're like, oh my God. And then you would assume the rest of this movie is going to be like a serial killer movie, and it's not. The rest of the film is you have sympathy for his plight, and I think that's just a challenge. I think Korine deliberately challenges the audience the whole movie, so they have to sit there like, what the hell? That kind of thing.
I think Korine is very aware of what we're talking about with exploitation. I think he thinks about this stuff. I think that's why Fight Harm didn't get released and finished.
Yeah.
Is because at a certain point he realized he was putting other people's lives,
Yeah.
not in danger, but he's affecting other people. It's not just him. He's having people beat the shit out of him. That feels highly exploitative. That feels like bum fights.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. I feel like Harmony Korine acknowledges this stuff, so I don't have an issue with it. It doesn't come up in my mind where I'm like, oh, he's using a guy with, because we didn't even talk about it. There's a scene in this movie, and I saw it, and I was like, is this evil waking life? Mm-hmm. Sir, a third evil Linklater has hit the building. Because you have the scene of the guy with the no arms, and he's doing everything with his feet, including like, how when you are thinking about something or talking, you'll put like your finger to your chin. He does that with his big toe.
Yeah. And he's like
He plays the drums really well with his feet. I was like, I was impressed.
He's playing like card games and shuffling decks, and
Like that's the closest you can come to maybe making an argument about exploitation, but clearly that guy is loving it. He's in on it.
yeah.
He's like, hey, look what I can do with no arms. I can do better than you guys can do with all your arms.
Yeah, he's championing his difference.
Now that said, hey, head fuckers. Welcome to the head fuckers. Adam, what would you give Julien Donkey-Boy out of 5 stars?
What would I give Julien Donkey-Boy out of 5 star? Okay. Someone used the phrase chaotic poetry earlier, and I think that really stuck with me. So I'm like, if you are into chaotic poetry, a movie like Julien Donkey-Boy, it's going to be right up your alley. It's not, there's no plot cells in this movie. There's nobody going like, oh, we got to move the plot. We got to advance the plot. We got to make sure this scene is aiding the plot somehow. And yeah, you're not going to get bogged down by that. And if that's what you're looking for, I mean, for me, I give it a 3.5, maybe even a 4. Good job, Harmony Korine.
Spaghetti, what would you give Julien Donkey-Boy out of 5 stars?
I'm in the camp like I typically always am with Korine. I'm giving it 5 stars out of 5. I think it's just such a challenging film that is created so differently that even though it's not really a film that's really there for per se enjoyment, it's a film that accomplishes all of its goals to just create a different product entirely. And I think that it's just often attempted but can't be replicated. It's that camp, and only Korine can make stuff like this. And I even enjoy it almost as much as Gummo. I think I have more history with Gummo, so I might like Gummo a little bit more for nostalgic purposes, but I don't know. This is equally as challenging, if not more. So that's where I stand on it.
Party's over, Grandpa.
Hey there, folks. It's Dan. I'm here at the Dan and Afraid podcast. I'm going to give Julien Donkey-Boy 4 out of 5 stars with the heart. I think this movie is good. I think it's going to age really well as far as being in my watching lexicon, my library of movies I've seen. I think it's going to age really well. Last night when I watched it, I was like, this is a really weird movie. And I didn't really know what to make of it. And again, I had issues where I couldn't get the subtitles offset right. Like, I just couldn't get the subtitles working. So, I missed stuff. I think putting this out on a Blu-ray with subtitles and extras would do a world of difference, and I might appreciate this movie even more. But again, I watched it yesterday, and I was like, I don't know, 3.5, maybe even a 3. Today, I'm up to a 4. I think that's a testament to a movie that can affect you, can make you think. It doesn't just become disposable garbage that you never think about again. I will probably think about this movie many times before I die, and I've only seen it twice. I will die before I die. 4 out of 5 stars. Check it out, folks. That brings us to our closing segment. Adam, did you pick a movie for next week?
Dan, I have 2 choices, and I'm going to and they're dressed up in some sort of thematic robe. Do you want to pick A or B?
Go ahead and give me B.
Damn, you just made our potential guest sad, but he'll still watch it. Okay, we're going to be watching... Oh my God, I had it up and now. Oh, there. 2013's Russian film, Hard to Be a God. Scientists are sent to the planet Arkarnar to help a medieval civilization and to rescue intellectuals with Terry Gross. Check it out, folks.
This movie is 2 hours and 57 minutes.
I love them long, bro.
Oh my God. If this sucks, I'm going to be so pissed. I'm going to be coming in with a 2-star review. Be like, it's me, Dan Adamareafraid. It's the Dan Headfuckers, 2 stars. Good night. All right. Well, is this easy to come by? Is this like streamable? Did you check that?
Yeah. I think it's on. Last time I checked, it was on. I haven't checked since, but it's on. It was on Prime. But I'm probably wrong.
Oh God. We'll figure it out, folks. You got to watch this 2014 Russian movie if you want to fucking sit at the table next week.
Got to tear that wall down.
Tear down this ass. Gorbachev, eat this pussy.
Oh, it's on YouTube.
Okay, there you go. It's on YouTube. Sick.
1080p.
Without subtitles, so you got to learn Russian. I'm kidding.
Yeah.
I didn't look.
What's the next Harmony Korine we're doing? We're doing, I think, Mr. Lonely.
That would be next in line, wouldn't it? Unless you want to backtrack and do David Blaine Magic Man or whatever.
No. Yeah, next one will be shout out to the future, folks. Mr. Lonely. Start thinking about it. All right. Well, we'll be watching next week. Hard to Be a God, directed by Alexei German. His name is German, but he's Russian. Do we live in a simulation? All right, I'm tapped out, folks. Spaghetti, where can we find you? Are you doing any shows? Are you doing any guest spots?
The last thing I did before this, I was on an episode of Disconnected, and that's on YouTube. I'm always hanging out on Letterboxd, doing reviews there. So, but typical, the norm. But yeah, I try to get around on random stuff. But yeah, check me out on Disconnected. I did an episode there. That would be the most recent.
Yeah, we'll definitely link that in the show notes. Go and check out Disconnected. Learn about some Blu-rays that Spaghetti's interested in.
Yep.
He did a pretty good appearance. That's it, folks. I hope everyone has a wonderful week, and don't die before you die. Jazz aliens? Yo. Jazz aliens? Yo, we from the planet Jazz. We're here to take over your honky asses, including you, host of the show.
Jazz alien Quano Mano invented the Big Five sound.
Yo, we're taking you to hell. You could be in hell, bitch.
White monkey.
Sorry I didn't give you a chance to do an outro, Adam. Did you have anything to say?
No.